Good afternoon, everybody. My dear fellow Toastmasters, my dear guests. I hope I'm audible to everybody, online and offline. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We would once again, good afternoon, and we would like to welcome you for our 468th Oracle Trailblazer Toastmasters meeting. My name is Ravindra, and I will be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, which is abbreviated as SAA. So in Toastmasters, we have different roles, like SAA is one of the role, and we have another other roles like TMOD, which is Toastmaster of the Day. So if we join as a member, we can have you will come to know multiple roles in the Toastmasters. So here I come up with some ground rules which needs to be followed throughout the session. So first ground rule is respect. Let us treat each other with respect and courtesy and kindness throughout the meeting. And our next ground rule is participation. So I would like everyone to actively participate in the session throughout the session. So we have our esteemed speakers. You can ask questions at the end of the session. And also we have table topics. So I would like everyone to actively participate in the table topics. And and the third ground rule is, so whenever speaker is speaking, please do not move in or out of the room. For online speakers, if you are not speaking, please mute the mic, and that's it. That's about the third ground rule. And so I would like, I hope you'll have a great session, and we'll have a fun session throughout the session. And next, I would like to invite our enthusiastic and dynamic president of our club, Toastmaster Shailu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravindra. Can we have a huge round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ravindra? On behalf of Oracle Trailblazers family, I welcome you all to the 468th meeting of Oracle Trailblazers Toastmasters Club, an open house meeting. So, can I request all the online audience to please turn on a video for the better participation? If you can able to do it, it would be great. And as you all are here, can we have a quick show of hands? How many of you are attending Toastmasters meeting for the first time? Can you show hands, online audience? Or a thumbs up? Great. All right. We have quite few folks. And can someone tell me, before today, have you heard about Toastmasters in any capacity? Any one of you?
Hi, my name is Akash.
Hi,
So
Akash.
I haven't heard of Trailmasters. So recently I got this email and then I searched about the Trailmasters and all these things. And then I thought like this is something that I can learn from, and hence I decided to join.
That's great. Thank you so much for your feedback. Anyone else would like to tell if you have anything you heard about Toastmaster, one or two word or any sentence you would like to tell, whatever it would be. All right, no worries. So I'll tell you what is Toastmasters. So okay, Shahid, I can see you have raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just raised because of this is my first attempt for the Toastmaster.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll tell you. Okay, who's that? Okay, fine. So for the benefit of guests and everyone here, Toastmasters is a platform where we learn public speaking and the leadership skills. I'll take you back to the year 1924, where the seed of Toastmaster was shown. In the year 1924, a gentleman known Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, who was the education director at a YMCA University, Illinois, found that there is a gap among the people in the capacity of public speaking. So he started in a normal dinner meeting with a young men's, where young men were allowed to give the speeches and the old men were used to evaluate the speeches. And later it grew. That time it was only allowed for the men. And today, for all the genders, the Toastmasters is open for all the people. And today, Toastmasters is present across 148 countries. We have around 14,000 clubs, and we are a group of 270,000 plus members across the globe. Can we have a huge round of applause for such a accomplishment? So in back, it started in the basement, and today you have seen it has grown immensely. And today, in the year 2024, we are celebrating 100 years of Toastmasters International. And we are Oracle Trailblazers. We are part of OTH, Oracle Tech Hub Bengaluru. And we are a 10 years old club running in OTH. And it's been a great opportunity for me standing here being a president, running this entire session in the year 2024, January to June 2024. And it came only because of the support and commitment of all the members, all the officers, and all the members of Trailblazers Toastmasters Club. So in front of you, I would like to recognize the commitment of all the officers who made sure that our term and our club goes fine. So I would like to call on stage our first officer who made sure that every week we had a great meeting. The rooms are properly filled. We have a proper booking of the rooms and all the equipments are well placed. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mamta. Thank you. Now it's time to call the person who made sure that all our information are up to date. He made sure that after every meeting, we receive the MOMs, that is, and also all the information are up to date on the Toastmaster website. Please welcome our Secretary, Toastmaster Ravindra. Now, every nation or every club can't run without the finance minister. In a Toastmasters, we call them as a treasurer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the treasurer of Oracle Trailblazers Toastmaster Abhinav. Thank you. Now, you must have seen the posters all around. You have seen the emails where the beautiful posters are all around. So it's only be possible because of our Vice President of Public Relations. So I would like to call on stage our Vice President of Public Relations, Toastmaster Dinesh. Thank you. Now, all the strength which you are seeing here, today Oracle Trailblazers is at 29 members. We are 29 members strong club in the district. So it's been only possible because of our Vice President of Membership. Today she is not here, but I would like to call her name, Toastmaster Barnali. Now I would like to take the name of our Vice President of Education, who made sure that all our education goals are well aligned. We know all our mentors, who is always there to support in each of our education goals. He's also not present here today, but I would like to take the name. He's our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Dinesh, Toastmaster Sheikh. And apart from this, we have our immediate past president who made sure that the team is running well fine. He's sharing all his experience and expertise in navigating and helping us the club. Please welcome Toastmaster Kaushal Dev.
Thank you.
And now, yeah, Kaushal is online. And now to support all the members in the club, we have 2 associate members as well who made sure that our club functions well and our officers can get a proper help. Please welcome Toastmaster Maria as a Associate Vice President of Education. and Toastmaster Namrata Bhagat as a Associate Vice President of Public Relations. So these are all our team of Oracle Trailblazers Toastmasters Club from the term January 2024 to June 2024, who made sure that we functions well and everything are well aligned. So I thank all of my officers to being a part and always showing your commitment towards the growth and the success of the club. Thank you so much, all my officers. You can now take the seat. With this, it's now time to call on stage a person who will navigate you throughout the event today. In terms of Toastmasters, we call that role as a TMOD, that is the Toastmaster of the day. And today, the role is taken by a very dynamic and a new Trailblazers who joined Oracle last year as a strategic sales expert in HCM Fusion application. She is a pet parent to 3 dogs named Pluto, Mikey, and Whitey. If she has not chosen sales as a career, she would be a folk artist in painting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Toastmaster Devi.
Am I audible and visible to everyone? Perfect. Just give me a moment. All right. So once again, good afternoon, Toastmasters and esteemed guests. And once again, welcome to the 468th meeting of Oracle Trailblazers Club. Okay, so today we have an open house session to celebrate it and a very interesting lineup. So do stay with us till the end of the session. Something very surprising is going to come up for the audience, and I'm sure each one of you are going to like it. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about creativity. The dictionary meaning of creativity doesn't do the justice to the enormity that the word actually it holds. And who knows it better than us Indians, right? So often our creativity is referred as jugaad, and it also has a place in dictionary by itself, right? And we have constructed architecture marvels like Ajanta Ellora temples, monolithic, one of the best in the world. We have also captured the smell of the wet soil rain in the form of perfume, which is again a very interesting thing which happens in UP. And recent being UPI, or the digitization, which is a brainchild of Mr. Nandan Nilekani. What I'm trying to say is creativity is everywhere. It depends how you see it, and it also depends which side of creativity you are. It can be on the artistic side, it can be at the work side. So I would like to ask the audience, either who is present virtually or who is present in front of me, would you like to share any personal story about yourself in terms of your artistic side or your creative side, which you brought at work and you're proud of? Anyone from the audience would like to share interesting side of your creativity other than Dr. Ashoo, because she is one of the most creative people we have today who's going to speak on that also. No worries, that's okay. So we'll move on. What I was trying to say is that we are just little hesitant to share, maybe because we are not part of the Trailblazer Club yet. So when we talk about creativity, and most of us also know that I have keen interest in folk art, and I intend to learn each folk art of the country. So I'll ask a simpler question because it's a guess one and there's nothing right and wrong. If I talk about folk painting, any idea how many folk painting forms in India exist? Or names, if anybody knows?
One.
Mhm.
From Odisha.
Great, yes.
And Madhubani painting from Bihar.
Correct.
Madhubani Kalamkari,
Yes, yes. So there are
Pata
50.
painting.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, no worries at all. So there are 50 folk painting art forms in India. And we are not even talking about textile. We are not talking about architecture. We are not talking about sculpting. We are not talking about food also, where we again see creativity. Sambar is different in different state, and it tastes also different, right? So stories are many. in short, I wish all of us to believe that all of us have a unique side, and it's a matter of kind of exploring and discovering about ourselves and kind of implementing it. So the question is, does this creativity has to be like something you leave your job and you pursue it, or something you bring it at work? This is the question which is always running in our minds. Sometimes we are also a little hesitant to take that step forward. So to find the answers to these questions, let me introduce you to our esteemed speaker. She's an associate professor of management and the chief learning officer at Shulini University. A MBBS and an MBA graduate, she joined academics after spending several years in the corporate and entrepreneurial world. A daredreamer who looked beyond, something that we all carry close to our heart. She's a published author of the book Off the Corporate Bus and Into the Creativity Boat. Mom to two girls, she also volunteers at the Indian Association of Muscular Dystrophy Solar. Passionate about learning, she teaches courses on marketing, creativity, innovation, music appreciation, and writing at Shulini University. At her leisure, she enjoys music, reading, writing, and spending time with her pets, a cat and a dog. Please join me to welcome Dr. Ashoo Khosla to share her knowledge on creativity. Can we have a huge round of applause?
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Such a pleasure to be here today with all of you and to speak about a topic which is so close to my heart. I want to thank Abhinav, who invited me to this forum. And Abhinav has been a collaborator with me in the past. I've written this book on creativity, and Abhinav did some illustrations for me. And we've known each other from Twitter. And it was such a pleasure when he reached out and said, would you like to speak about creativity? And I never say no when it comes to talking about creativity. So creativity is something that I had been, associated with or have been practicing subconsciously, I think, since I was a child. But I think it's only been the past few years that I've deliberately, since I started writing the book or really thought deeply about it, that I've been closely associated with the topic. And now, of course, I'm teaching it, and I keep learning about it every single day of my life. I have a short, presentation that I would like to project, not because I want to read off it. It's going to be more conversational, but just to keep track of, whatever I want to speak gets covered. So I hope I'm allowed to share. Okay, I think you can see my presentation now. Right? Okay, so we are here to talk about creativity. I think I'm going to take a very, very personal take. I believe just like, spirituality, religion, these are things that are very, very personal. And I believe that creative expression is also a very, very personal thing. Everybody has their own unique journey of discovering this ability that we all possess and utilizing it in different ways. So Devi was mentioning, is it meant to be brought to workplace? Is it meant to, happen in our leisure time? Is it meant to change the world? And are the most, famous creative people truly creative? And what we do is nothing, really important. So all these are questions which are answered with this one statement. All of us have the ability to be creative. It's how you take it and how you use it in your life. And if you are creative and if you have explored and discovered your creativity, you can't help being creative in wherever you'll be creative at work, you will be creative at home. When you wrap a gift for a friend for a birthday party, you will be creative then. When somebody asks you to ideate in office, you will be creative then. When you think about problems that are going to affect the larger mankind, you can be creative even then. So having said that, I just wanted to, take you through this journey of creativity, which is my personal journey. And there are things that I have learned along the way when I've studied it, learned it, practiced it. And those are the things that I wanted to bring forth in this forum for all of you. And I've taken a few quotes which have really, really, stayed with me, which kind of will take this presentation forward. So the first one is by Antoine de Saint, who's written this very famous book called The Little Prince. So you might have heard of it. And this quote is a very important one because it kind of, though I'm still struggling to find the real definition of creativity or what a perfect definition of creativity, but I feel this one kind of comes close to defining what creativity really means, or at least how I interpret it. So it says a rock pile ceases to be a rock pile the moment a single man contemplates it, bearing with him the image of a cathedral. So I feel that creativity is nothing, but it is our ability to recognize possibilities. What can be possibly done with a piece of rock? What can be a possible solution for a problem I face? So that ability to come up with ideas related to the context is what creativity is. It's the ability to have a vision, which can, so our vision can be very small. A vision can be, how can I make my friend happy when I hand it over the birthday gift that I've wrapped him to this friend of mine at a birthday party. Or it can be, how can I solve global warming? In either of the case, the ability is the same, your context differs, but what you're doing is you're imagining possibilities. And creativity doesn't stop there. I keep telling this to my students as well. We sometimes mistake creativity for ideas. And an example I love to give them is that what if Leonardo da Vinci thought about creating Mona Lisa, but he felt too lazy to do it and said, okay, I'll do it some other day. But I have this wonderful idea. Would he be categorized as creative? For creativity, you have to do something, to make something. In fact, the literal meaning of the word creativity I've researched might have originated from Sanskrit kriya or Latin creare, which means to make. So in order to be creative, your idea that comes into your mind, that germ of possibility that arrives in your mind has to be transformed into something tangible for it to be called creative. Now, moving on, I'm going to talk about a few aspects of creativity just that are, I feel, very, very important, and important particularly in our time and age. Now, one thing that I firmly believe, and there's this quote by this American writer, Minna Thomas, which says, cultivate the acquaintance of Mother Nature. She may enrich you. In order to dream of possibilities, in order to have a vision, we always need an inspiration. And I firmly believe that all of human beings' inspiration is derived from nature. And in this time and age, when we use cell phones, where every human being has now become a silo glued to his or her screen, and they have their own mini worlds within this one large world, we have distanced ourselves from the fact that there is a big source of inspiration surrounding us. We are seeking inspiration from what we watch on our screens, but we fail to see what surrounds us. Every little thing in your surrounding has some inspiring moment, some inspiring thing, some inspiring living being, which can lead to a plethora of ideas if we try. And you might have heard of a concept called biomimicry, which is a very big thing in design. Design is a very, very creative field which is applied across disciplines these days. And biomimicry happens to be, totally, when very blatantly saying that we are going to copy nature and we are going to do something creative. So you might have heard the story of how the bullet train in Japan was inspired, the shape of it was inspired by a kingfisher who was observed while he was diving into to a small water body to catch a fish, and created very few ripples in the water that it dove into. And the engineer who had been trying to solve the problem of this intense noise that was made by the train when it went at high speeds, suddenly found the solution that the shape of the train had to be changed. So it was the kingfisher's beak that inspired the bullet train. Similarly, the Velcro, I mean, these are common stories which you hear very often. The Velcro was inspired by a man who had taken a dog to a walk, and his fur got entangled with some thorny burrs. And when he disentangled them, and he saw that it was very difficult to do so. And he was a curious man by nature, so he looked at these birds under the microscope and found that the birds had a very interesting, curved kind of hooks which stick to a surface and are very difficult to detach. And that was the birth of Velcro. A very recent one that I read, and very interesting, in fact, I was mind blown by it, was the fact that there are companies in the world which are now producing fabric using bacteria. They feed bacteria on fruit wastes because fruit wastes still have a lot of sugar. And these bacteria convert that sugar that they feed on into cellulose. This cellulose is harnessed, it is treated, and it gives rise to a fabric which resembles leather. So sustainability, problem of, not of being animal friendly, etc., is solved in one go. You're harnessing millions of bacteria to produce fabric, which is very, very long lasting, very durable, and interestingly will appeal to the fashionistas or the fashion conscious people, because every bit of fabric produced by a certain kind of bacteria will be unique. It will almost be like a fingerprint, like you have unique fingerprints for human beings. Every piece of textile which is produced by a certain set of bacteria will be unique, one of a kind in the world. And if you feel that this is too far away, I read that they're going to showcase this fabric in a fashion show, I think, as early as next year. So there's a lot of things to learn from nature. And we have to be aware that we are kind of distancing ourselves from nature these days. Another thing that has changed about creativity, in the last century or so is that the concept of a lone genius, earlier when we used to talk about scientific discoveries, you had names of single scientists who had done wonderful discoveries. So we remember people like Einstein, we remember people like Edison, Tesla, and so many others. These were people, of course, they might be collaborating in some ways with their colleagues or peers, but mostly their work was their individual work. Now, there is this professor, he's actually a physicist, Cesar Hidalgo from MIT, who has given this concept called person byte. He says that person byte he defines as a reasonable amount of knowledge that a person can possess. So we have limited brains, limited capacities to understand, to store information. So he's coined a term which is like a unit of how much knowledge a person can possess. So he said in the past, which was known as the craftsman economy, in order to produce something which would qualify as creative, like a canal or a suspension bridge or a steam engine, the amount of knowledge which was required was very limited. And that's why a single person could actually do something worthwhile when it came to creativity. Nowadays, things have become so complex, so specialized that one person byte is not enough to produce something of value. We are talking about supercomputers, we are talking about space missions, we are talking about combating possible pandemics in the future. One person will not have the knowledge to give you a solution for that problem. So what is happening in the world of creativity is that we are now all converging on collaboration. We are depending on a lot of people who have very specialized knowledge in their fields, and we are hoping that they will all come together and collaborate and give us the solutions that will be helpful for the entire mankind. And building upon that, there is another professor who I really follow. She's a Harvard professor and has done spectacular work on creativity. She has, betted on the hypothesis where she says that all the creativity in the future is going to be collaborative. In fact, she says the collaboration will not even be between small teams. Something will happen which is known as citizen innovation. Citizen innovation is that we will rely for solutions for problems from certain communities around the world. What is a tribal, group doing in Africa might become relevant to solving, say, drinking water problem in India. So that kind of innovation is going to happen in the future. So just to build upon the point that I made with Person Byte, here we are talking about large communities, large cities coming together. So if a city has a problem, traffic problem, water scarcity, global warming, cities, communities, large groups of people will come together and form these solutions. That is what she says. So the point I'm making is that it is not possible to be creative alone. If you really want to do creativity, which will bring about change. Even at smaller levels, you might have seen, you're all people from the technology field, you know that everybody has their specialized knowledge in a certain domain, and you have to rely on another specialist to collaborate with in order to give a whole product or a service to a client. So that is another point. But if we are talking about technology, let's talk about generative AI. So much talked about, and because I'm in academia, and we are really worried about how our students are going to use ChatGPT. People have started doing their assignments on them. They find ways to cheat, ask the ChatGPT while they are taking an exam in class. And that is a worrisome thing for us. But when I look at it from the creativity point of view, I feel that generative AI has really been a tool that has given me a lot of support in becoming creative. Let's take the example of writing. There is this lady called Stephanie Wiseman who devised a technique called morning pages, who described something known as a blank page syndrome. So she described it in terms of, or in the context of writers. She says that whenever we sit with a blank page to write, or for example, if you're sitting on your computer and there is a white screen with a cursor blinking on it, and you are faced with the situation where you have to write 10 or 20 pages, you will find that starting is the most difficult part. In fact, there is an exercise that I do with children or students here, which is where I ask them to write a poem, a 4-line poem. I say, just write any 4-line poem, and I give them a blank sheet of paper. 50% of the class will just sit blankly and say, what to write? I'm not a poet. I can't write a poem. Then the same exercise I repeat, where for every line, I just give them a prompt. Use this word in this line. Use a comparison of that word with something else in the next line, and so on and so forth. When those hints and prompts are given to them, they are immediately able to come up with some great poems of 4 lines. So this blank page syndrome is a very big enemy of creativity. Where to start? So a thing like generative AI is great. If you have an idea, just put it there and say, write me a story. It will write some sense, some nonsense, but it will be a starting point for you. You will, just the fact that it has given you some sense and some nonsense, you can get started on whatever you were trying to write. So technology like generative AI is going to be, in my opinion, very, very useful for being creative in the future. It already is. In fact, I use it very often. Another thing that I wanted to kind of emphasize, or there is a concept or a theory that I really love about creativity, and I feel that it is very true. There is this theory which says that, or answers the question, it's very ironic, where they say, how long does it take for you to be an overnight success? These days, our definition of success has also changed. We feel that Instagram influencers are very successful and they become very successful very fast. But if you really, really want to excel creatively in any field, how long does it take for you to excel? And this has been done or studied by different people in different ages. The first ones to study this was some researchers, this pair of researchers, in fact, Herbert Simon and William Chase, who would study people who excelled in chess. So chess is a skill. It does require a little bit of creative thinking as well. And they studied people who had made their mark in the world of chess, and they realized that in order for somebody to reach a certain level, there are no instant experts, they said. You can't learn how the different pieces move one day and become a great chess player on the second day. No, if you have to become experts, anywhere between 10,000 to 50,000 hours are required for you to deliberately practice that skill. So if we are thinking of everyday creativity, if we just want to dabble in a hobby, or we want to be just little creative in our own life for our own happiness, or for our audience is just a close circle of friends, etc., then of course, maybe not. But if you want to become a creative person, so for example, Devi mentioned that she wants to learn all folk art. For Devi to become a folk artist of any repute, or I really don't know how much time she has spent already, but she should have spent at least 10,000 hours doing a lot of folk art before she actually becomes an expert in that field. Same goes for musicians, same goes for even technical people like you. Same goes, I have an MBBS degree, so I've seen surgeons who are very, very amateur to begin with. When they have done 10 years of the same kind of surgery, they really become experts at it. So skills are very closely related to creativity. So you might have, so you can't, you don't confuse the skill with talent. For example, if I have a great voice, and I can sing, I can pick up a tune and I can sing in a party, etc. But if I wanted to become a recorded artist or win a Grammy award, I should have at least trained for 10,000 hours in, say, a classical music, or I should have at least done 10,000 hours of concerts where people have come and watched me. So that 10,000 hours is something that I need to have put in. Otherwise, I will not excel and I'll not become what is called as a big C creator. So there is a small c, everyday creativity, that we do in our everyday life. There is pro C, which is professional creativity that you do in your domain of work. And then there is big C, which was done by people like Einstein, which changed the world, right? So in order to get anywhere to being an expert in any field, 10,000 hours is a minimum that is required from them. I'm just keeping track of time, how much time is left, then I'll speed on accordingly. Do I have some more time? Okay.
Yeah, 5 more minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
5 more minutes. I'll wrap it up. So here I just wanted to add one more thing in this, because 10,000 hours rules was popularized by a writer called Malcolm Gladwell. He has written a book called
Outline.
Is it called? I forget the name of the book. Right now it's on, one is Tipping Point. I think Tipping Point was the book. Outliers, I'm sorry. Outliers is the book where he mentions this 10,000 hours rules. But before he popularized it, there were researchers like Herbert and William Chase who had already worked on it. And then there was another professor who gave a very similar theories, which said 10 years of silence. He said, if you look at any musician like Mozart, Beethoven, and if you look at the year of release of their first very popular work, and if you really went into their history, you will see that before they got their big breakthrough, they had done 10 years of silent work where they were not as recognized or not as celebrated. So this is also in line with that. So 10,000 hours, 10 years, 10 to 50,000 hours, all this are pointing towards one thing, that if you want to excel in creativity, and you're talking about a skill, in order to become expert at that skill, you will have to practice. One last thing before I stop is that there is a concept called flow. Some of you might have heard it. It was given by a psychologist who has done a lot of work on creativity and happiness. And he believes that the purest kind of happiness is the one that comes to creative people. When they're involved in an endeavor, where they're pushing their limits, And he calls them these optimal experiences. And he has, in this quote, given some examples. Place yourself in the position of this person, a child who's playing and trying to place the last block on a tower that she has built, a swimmer who's trying to beat a record, or a musician who's trying to master an intricate musical passage and he finally managed to play it flawlessly. We all have had these kind of moments sometimes in our life. When we have gotten involved with anything that we are passionate about and anything that is creative, is making something, a tower, a record, playing a piece of music. All these are acts of creativity. So creativity, when you're involved in creative acts, this feeling of being in the zone, of feeling, this is what I was made for, this is my moment, when you lose all contact with the real world, when you forget the world, is the truest and the most permanent form of happiness that we can seek. So creativity is very closely linked with happiness. We have a lot of stress in our life these days. We pay therapists and we pay psychologists, or we are on medications, or we are grappling with anxiety and stress. One way to release that, and a beautiful way to release that, could be practicing creativity, where you create these moments for ourselves, where we push ourselves to our limit and test our potential. So that's all from my side. If we have any time for questions, I'll be very happy to answer these. Just summing it up for all of you, try to be close to nature. There's a lot of inspiration in nature. Instead of seeking inspiration from fellow men, try to seek inspiration from the greatest creator, which is God or nature, whatever you want to call it. Secondly, collaboration. Thirdly, use of technology. Fourthly, practice till you become perfect or an expert. And fifthly, create that optimal moment of joy, and that can be created again and again, and you can experience that pure form of joy and happiness if you indulge in creativity in your life in any form. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much, guys, for having me over. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashoo. I am going to overcome my blank page syndrome and going to discover myself. There is a incomplete painting in my cupboard of Madhubani. And I'm going to open that and going to finish that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. So sorry? Yeah, I was coming to that. Thank you. So we will just quickly check if we have any questions. I think our Toastmaster already have one question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Ashu, thank you for the talk. It was amazing. So I heard you reference morning pages, and it reminded me of the book Artist's Way, in which the morning pages are referenced. So I was wondering if you had done the exercises in Artist's Way and completed it, and how your experience was with that. Because a few years back I started it, but I didn't quite complete it because it's not easy to go through. So I just wanted to know your experience.
Morning pages is about just writing. It's like it's like going deep into your stream of consciousness. And the last creative writing that I did was with my book in 2016-17. After that, I've written a couple of short stories here and there, but I've really benefited, and I've done it, though I've not done it very regularly, but I really believe that, it helps when you write as if you're not writing for anybody. You're not hindered by any fear of judgment. You just go very deep into your consciousness, into your memories, and just write without getting bothered about what is the grammar, what is the story, is this making sense or not. You just pour your heart out onto the paper. It really, really frees you. You're going to start writing more. Your बोलते हैं ना, हाथ खुल जाता है. You overcome that barrier of not being able to create. And secondly, what comes out from the depth of your heart is so very beautiful and sometimes surprises you, that how could I have thought of this? But that was always inside you, and it's the best way to bring it out.
Thank you. I'll go pick up that book again. Yeah.
Absolutely, you should. You should.
Hi Ashu, what a wonderful topic. I
Thank
100% agree with that. 10,000 years, sorry, 10,000 hours. We don't have years. So
Yeah.
my question is, often we as a creative person, I feel stuck at multiple levels. Like
Mm.
I feel as if I have reached a plateau. I can't move or rise above that level. So
Yeah.
at that time, I lose my consistency of, I get fed up with it. So how do we
Yeah,
overcome that?
so it happens to the best of the people. You and I are, I don't know about you, I'm sure you're very creative, but I consider myself to be averagely creative, and it happens whenever I'm doing something creative. I believe that, my level has reached a plateau or something. So one is, if you're working on a project, a very good cure for that is just walking. Many writers and many creative people have done it. And they say walking, even if it is on a treadmill, but preferably walking in nature. Just aimless walking, walk through your city, walk through your neighborhood, and don't think about what you're doing there. And sometimes you come back and the thing happens. Sometimes the block can continue for a long time, but don't get too unduly worried about it unless you have a deadline. Sometimes you will come back to it. If you are passionate about it, you will come back to the project. It can sometimes last even months, but don't care too much about it. Don't dwell on it too much. Sometimes learning something new can also help, because sometimes you are stuck because of your limitations in what you know, or your skill is at a certain level and you can't go. So take a course on something, go and have a talk with an expert, collaborate with a peer who knows a thing or two about what you're working on. I think that can also help.
Hi, Dr. Ashoo. Shailu this side.
Hi.
Thank you for such a wonderful session. First of all, I would like to thank you for being here. Like, I can relate you very much as you're part of Shulin University. I studied in Solan, JP University for 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So it felt like I traveled back to my college days when I heard that you are going to be our speaker today. It felt really well. Like I felt like you are one of my faculty member just
Very
sitting in
nice.
front of me. I really felt so emotional that I
Oh.
traveled back that time. And one question I would like to ask, that how can we cultivate creativity in our daily activity, like daily course and all?
Yeah, so that's called, so there are two types of those creativity. One is everyday creativity, like trying new things. For example, if you like cooking, looking at a new recipe, trying that. So keeping on, learning a little bit of new things and experimenting. That is one way to do it. In that kind of creativity, you usually have an audience,
Correct.
you cook for your friends and say, okay, I tried to make rajma differently today. Taste karke batao, how does it taste?
Correct.
So that can be one thing. And the second type of everyday creativity is something that you do for yourself. You journal, you write some poetry, which you may or may not want many people to read, but you just do it because you saw a wonderful sunset. You jot down those 4 lines in your diary. That becomes your source of solace or peace when you are troubled. That journal becomes such a precious memory, or a book of your own experiences. So you are doing it for yourself. So either do it for yourself or do it for a group of trusted friends, where you do it and have them sample it. Say, I composed a new tune, do you want to listen to it? Or let me sing a new song that I wrote for you. So that is what I feel. Little things, experimenting, being curious, seeking that inspiration from around, saying, how can I do it? If you draw, go out and see new places, meet new people. I think that is the greatest source of creativity. Like I said, we are always inspiration. That one moment which will ignite something in us, which will help us create something. And that inspiration is all around you. You just have to make the effort to find it.
That's really helpful. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashoo.
Welcome.
Any other questions from the virtual audience? Maybe we can take one more question. Abhipsha, anything is there? Okay, sure. So can we have a huge round of applause for Dr. Ashoo?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing the occasion and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Special thanks to Abhinav, if you're there. Thanks, Abhinav.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm very, very impressed that you're having your 468th meeting, and this day and time. Consistency is an achievement itself. So congratulations. And I wish you all the best. And I'll take your leave because I'm getting late for another meeting.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Great. So let me talk about the next session, which is coming up. So I will start with a interesting quote. Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. These lines from Roger Crawford resonates with the theme of our panel discussion today, which is on leadership through challenges. The panel session will be moderated by our very own Toastmaster, who is a principal QA analyst at Oracle Retail AI Foundation, public speaker, and a graphic designer. Please join hands to welcome Toastmaster Abhinav to take the session ahead.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Devi. Can you round of applause for Devi as well, please? Okay, I hope you're all enjoying the session very well. Let me go on to the next session. And before I start anything, let me ask a question to non-Toastmasters around here. What is the tagline of Toastmasters? Anybody knows tagline of Toastmasters? Okay, if nobody knows who are non-Toastmasters, Toastmasters here, let me check your general knowledge. Some are new Toastmasters, let me ask them. Anybody knows? Do I have to do all the work? All right, the Toastmasters tagline is, where leaders are made. Thank you. So when you join Toastmasters, or when we hear about Toastmasters, the only thing we get to know is that it's a public speaking platform, or where we can learn communication better. But in reality, it's all about leadership. In Toastmasters, we learn about leadership. Although, obviously, public speaking is one of the major components of that. And when it comes to leadership, there's so many things in our life we can learn from. We had a great session about creativity. Leaders can be creative as well. So personally, I have been a team leader in Oracle. I'm not a manager as such. So I had to lead without authority. That is one of the major challenges I face when trying to lead somebody. I share a very small incident with you. In Feb 2020, my team of about 8 people were taking a lot of work from homes. At that time, it was not common. So on 1st March, like an idiot, I sent a mail. From now on, if you want to take work from home, take my permission 2 days before at least, and not more than 1 work from home in a month. After 2 weeks, whole world became work from home. So as a leader, I realized that nothing is in my control. Even if I get permission from my manager to lead everybody with authority, the challenge is everywhere. In your day-to-day work life, they always fire you to distinguish. In today's session, we'll try to learn from experienced leaders or managers who have been Toastmasters as well leaders in their own right. Some of the panelists today are officially managers in Oracle, and they have been working for Oracle for a long time as well. So let me invite the first panelist today. He'll be online. So the first panelist today is somebody who has worked with Oracle from last 17 years. And currently he is working as the senior manager at Oracle Digital Marketing Services. He has more than a decade of experience as a full-time application developer and programmer with expertise in data analysis, gathering, and reporting. He's also a Toastmaster and has achieved the highest educational qualification a Toastmaster can achieve. That's called Distinguished Toastmaster Award. In the past, he has also been an area director and a club president. So please welcome a huge round of applause, Distinguished Toastmaster Ananda Gopalan. Can we have him spotlighted, please? Thank you. Our second panelist is somebody who is Senior Principal Tech Program Manager at Oracle. She holds dual MBAs specializing in operations and project management, along with executive management program from Cornell University in March 2022. She has over 22 years of experience in IT and InfoSec program management, operations management, and people management. She had a long list of awards, but I'm just telling about two. She was awarded as the Women of the Future by All India Women's Achievers Award. It's organized by 12 magazine. And she also been awarded as the Emerging Women Leader in Skill Development. She has been a Toastmasters in Cisco earlier, and more importantly, she was a charter member of Trailblazers. Please welcome Toastmaster Hina Seni. Thank you, Hina. Thank you, Ananda, for joining. We have third panelist, who is a program manager with experience in quality assurance and who understands the importance of delivery and compliance both. He is a PMP certified project manager, a certified Scrum Master, ITIL certified professional with a passion for learning and applying new knowledge. He's experienced in process definition and optimizing processes, and he tries to challenge the status quo. He's also a charter member of Trailblazers Toastmasters Club, and he's achieved the Competent Leader Award. So please welcome Toastmaster Joseph on the stage, please. So I'll start in this format. I'll ask each of them a very basic icebreaker question, and then we'll go into more details with time. And if any audience member has any questions, please post on chat. At the end of the meeting, we'll take the questions as well, and any audience offline can also ask. All right. So the first question, which is for everybody, let me sit down here now. I'll start with alphabetical order, Ananda first. So the basic question is, what challenges you face in your regular work life, which makes you think creative, and how do you actually overcome them? Just one or two you can just share.
If we say in the team, the very first thing I would say is when I had a different teams together as one team under me. So there was a big challenge. So talking to one may not work. It will work, but it may not work always. So I tried that, and then I found another way after talking with many leaders and even in Toastmasters. Then I have done a different thing, that is kind of team building activities. So every month, one day, one Friday, around 2 hours, and each member has to come with a game. It can be anything for 2 hours, and they have to do it. I found that is very useful, and people gel together, and who are from different teams made us a one team within 3 months. So that is a thing that I never expected, that even in a corporate world, the game links everyone. That is a highlight of my, I'd say, the creativity. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ananda.
Yeah.
I'll move to Hina next. So Hina, your experience in dealing with challenges at leadership and how you overcome them.
So very good point what Ananda has mentioned. Couple of things what I have personally faced in this 22 years of career. One is we as human being, unfortunately, is not wired to do difficult conversations. I mean, it's just imbibed in our DNA. The Indian upbringing is like that avoid difficult conversation, and that continues in the professional world also. And the same thing is getting reflected. So one of the basic challenges is to encourage difficult conversation. If you are having conflict with somebody, it's important to go and tell that person that what is the issue, give that feedback, and consider the feedback as a point of growth for yourself rather than thinking that that person is taking out negatives in you. It's very simple. For example, a sports person cannot proceed and do well in their career unless they are given the feedback. Suppose a runner, that you are this many seconds in last lap, or these many seconds needs to be improved. You have gone back. So that's a feedback, right? That's why they are improving better. But in our corporate world, it is taken as, oh, that is a mistake or an error which is taken in us. It should not be. And that's where you avoid the difficult conversation. So handling conflict and difficult conversation is something which is one of the biggest challenge as a leader, which it's not just as a leader, as a human being also you face when you work with your peers also, when you cross collaborate between different business unit. And it is important to address that. So one of the way what I feel is that not let it come to me that what others will think if I have to put across my point of view. Because if at all I will not put any which way, they will think. So might as well I keep my firm stance and politely tell clearly that what is my perspective, and then also ready to listen what is from where they are coming. Because everybody has their perspective and we just assume things without knowing what is the thought process or what is the foundation behind that particular verdict or direction what we have been asked to work.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Hena. Question to Joseph, same thing. Challenges you have faced in your leadership journey and how you overcome that.
I think one thing that any leadership position or any person, any individual needs to consider is change. That's something which keeps on changing. The only constant in the world is change. That's a very famous statement. It is very true. Just imagine what has happened in Oracle itself. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, we were EBS. EBS was the only thing which is there. Suddenly, your Fusion. Now you have to do Fusion. All the guys who have been trained in years and maybe 15 years of experience in EBS now has to become Fusion experts. So adaptability is one thing which every individual and leader has to be able to convey. They need to inspire people to change. It's always difficult to ask a person to change. And even for me, even today now we're talking about AI. You ask me to now learn AI, I'll be like, okay, I have reached the age where I don't feel like learning anymore. But that is not that is not something that you should be kind of conveying. Even as a leader, at whatever age you are, whatever position you are, you should keep an open mind to be able to adapt to changes. Because if you don't change, you will be changed. That is finally what is going to happen. Any organization, any place, or any part of life also, whatever you're doing, you cannot expect now, even if you take a personal case where the olden days, how family members used to be, how men used to treat their wives. If you try to treat your wives that way now, you will also be changed, right? So, so that is the fact. You have to change. You have to change with the times, and that is maybe one of the greatest challenges, which especially a person who's been in a certain way of thought process, you need to expand the way you think by collaborating with new people. That's where diversity comes into play. That's where meeting new things, getting new ideas, learning. Those are the things which has to be incorporated for you to, take on these challenges.
Thank you, Joseph. So I three takeaways I took for all the three speakers. One is that team building activity should be done regularly to encourage trust between team. We have to have feedback and difficult conversations sometimes, and the ability to change. Now, my question is, suppose you open a political party, what do you say? People follow you. But in corporate or in Toastmasters, when you become a leader, you don't choose your team yourself. Mostly, team is something which automatically happens for you. I think hiring was done before you, or maybe once you're a manager, you can choose one or two people, but you can't make a team in general unless you are super powerful. So my question now is for Toastmaster Ananda. For example, you already have a team. You might have faced this earlier in yourself. Some members don't really open up at all. Either they are facing problems in their personal lives or professional life. Very difficult to make them open. So what do you suggest, or what do you do to bring trust and a culture of open communication with them?
Yeah, that is very difficult actually. And as I said earlier, one-on-one will help to some extent. And when you say one-on-one with those kind of people, when they come prepared. So there'll be some restriction what they want to say, and they will be expecting something from me, and how to reply. That also they will get prepared. They won't open up. They won't express what they want. So we need to have a small talk, informal conversation. It's not in the huddle room or it's somewhere else. So it's not like come, let's go coffee. Then he will get it. He is going to talk something. So it should not be obvious. We should find an opportunity to talk what we want to get from him. So if you do 2-3 times, you will get a click. So what is the impediment? What is stopping him to talk, not to be open? Then from there, you will have a lead, and you can make him what he wants or whatever he needs. You can help, or can ask them to go for help, or we can suggest him to do something. So once you get that spark, you can do that. But to get that, it will take some time, and that is the leader's responsibility to do that. It's not just managing a project.
All right. Okay. Just leading the same question to Toastmaster Hina as well. Like making people trust you as a leader, how difficult is it? Because like I said, teams can be formed before you become a leader of that team itself. So how can you develop a culture or a trait that people can start trusting you as a leader?
So I think continuing to the thread of what Ananda said, that it's not easy. You can't just ping them and say, come, let's go for a coffee and try to pour out everything. It is because connecting to the earlier question, difficult conversation, right? Automatically in their thread, they are weaving the conversation that this might happen or why he or she is taking me, etc. So what is very important to be done, which most of the time, most of us forget to do, is active listening. Make sure that you listen them. And it's not listening their words, what they're talking, listening to their body language, listening to their listening to their non-verbal actions, listening to how they are reacting in terms of their reactions on the face. That is very important. Most of the time we forget that. We always focus on the words, but if you really see in depth of the communication, it's 55% of the non-verbal action which actually talk about communication. The verbal communication is only 7%. So, and most of the time leaders forget to take care of non-verbal cues or active listening. They tend to listen to the concern of the other person with already a solution in their head. You should have that, as Ananda mentioned, have multiple conversations, but go with only listening mode without even thinking that you have to give them a solution. Try to get the feed of everything in 5 to 6 meetings, and then find out that what is the root cause and how you can enable that person either to perform better or to become a better, like a team member, a team player. If suppose you are dealing with that problem or whatsoever is the problem, as a leader, you need to be an enabler for them to get the solution to that situation. And you need to find that by active listening. And another very important thing is lead by example. Demonstrate that openness and honesty and feedback. Don't just talk about their situation where they are striving to get a solution. Ask the feedback about yourself also. We leaders tend to forget that, okay, we can also go wrong somewhere. People have the perception about us also, which is mostly spoken among the team members, but nobody as a leader have that courage to ask that, please tell me where I have to improve. So it's important to lead by example and ask clearly that as a team, where you think I need to improve. And trust me, it works beautifully. I have done it when I was leading a team of 36 members, and it has helped me get those points where you take that as a blind spot on day-to-day operations, which is something which is impacting the team in the overall performance.
All right. Okay. So one takeaway I got is like listening to everybody and listening keenly is one of the keys. Like listening, there's also observing. So as a leader, you have to observe your team as well. And you have to pick somebody who can be the next leader in your journey. Because leader's journey is basically creating more leaders. So what's your take on that? How observing skills help you to find out leaders within your organization as well?
Something one of my managers taught me is a very, very important lesson. When I used to go for appraisals, you go like, you're going for battle. You come with your strategy plan. This is what he'll answer. You go with your chess moves, saying that, okay, this is what he'll say. If you've made some mistakes, he knows that you've made some mistakes. How will he counter that? So you do all those kind of things. But when I went to one of the managers who's still here in Oracle, who I really appreciate and respect, he actually, instead of saying what you've done wrong, he actually pointed out and saying, you forgot to mention that you did this also, or you did this which made a big impact. And I really forget, because you start thinking of your appraisal when that first reminder comes saying that please fill your appraisal, so you'll keep forgetting things which you've done. So this manager was something who really saw that you see the good in the person as well. We as humans unfortunately have that habit of remembering the bad. You remember any bad thing, will remember for the entire life. Whatever good things you might remember for some time, but we need to tend to get into that. And that's what we need to start observing. There are two things which I would look for in any person who I'd like to entrust with any work. Leadership is not that I will give you a leadership role. Leadership means any activity that I give you, how can I trust that it will get done? There are two things that I'll check. One is attitude. Attitude is most important. What is the attitude of the person? There are people who have the right attitude, who is like, I will try. I don't know. It's not that he knows everything, but I will try to learn and I will achieve what you need to do. I like to try to be in that kind of category as well personally. And I would like the same characteristic from any person that I would like to bring into my team, or hand over some responsibility. The other thing is aptitude. Yes, aptitude is required, but if the person has the right attitude, usually they can make up with the aptitude as well. But of course, there are some rare cases where I've seen where a lot of attitude, they have the right attitude, unfortunately their skill set doesn't match with what you need. So even those cases, you need to identify and observe, this guy is struggling with this, he wants to do, maybe his skill is somewhere else, maybe you need to reskill him or push him to some other place where his skills will be good, where he'll be good at. So this is how I would look at a leader. You need to observe good, bad also. You need to understand how it's not only important how they handle good situations, you need to also understand how they handle failures. Because no matter what role you do, there is no role that you will not face failure. You will always face failure. So how they pick themselves up after failure is a really good indicator for me to see who is a good leader. Not just, and anyone who says they've never failed, I will not trust that person at all. That is for sure. That means either he's not doing any work or he's not doing anything significant. If you do or try something different, try to do something amazing, you will fail. You have to fail so that you know how to do it better next time. So these are the things that I will look out for any person that I would like to work with.
Okay. So talk about failure. Toastmasters somewhere the place we all can say that we can try to fail here as much as number of times to succeed. So a question for all of you. In Toastmasters, we know people are volunteers and you are not their manager. You are just a leader, either through election or whatever happened, but you don't have authority on them because they also have to work professionally as well. So a question to all of you, how do you make people work for a cause or for you without being their managers? Right.
I think, can I take it?
Sure.
One is, see, it's a very important question from a Toastmasters perspective. When all the non-Toastmasters members, because I have been a Toastmaster in different breaks, like I have taken break and then rejoined the Toastmaster platform. It's very important to let the person know what's in it for them. Keep reminding them that why did they join Toastmasters? All the non-Toastmasters member who have joined here today the session as a guest, I'll definitely encourage them to be the part of the club, but have your why identified very clearly, that why you want to join Toastmasters. Like when I'm one of the charter member of Trailblazers Club, but that was the journey where I started with Toastmasters, followed by I have chartered 2 more clubs, and then was with the Cisco Expressions for 2.5 years. But I was very clear that my whole agenda or the objective of joining Toastmasters is, one is networking, knowing people across my organization, because that gives me the flavor of what are the different business units, what are the different opportunities. And second is, how can I make sure that I am on the constant improvement journey of my communication skill, because communication is not about speaking English properly. It's about how you articulate your perspective and thoughts in the most succinct manner, and still the other person on the other side get the gist of what you want to say. Communication is not about speaking English. It can be any language, but how precise and concise you are. So keep reminding the person their why, that why they are in Toastmasters Club, and which will keep fueling them with the motivation that yes, I need to work towards the development of the club along with my own development.
Great answer. Another, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah, actually, if you see Toastmasters, most of them, I would say around 70% of them, they join out of passion. So even it is not compulsory that they have to attend or they have to get the certificates and everything, but 70% are no problem. But rest of 30% is a little bit challenging. And I would say around 25%, they want to do something and they want to participate. They want to get some knowledge and improvement, everything, but they don't know how to do that. So they see that out of the top layer and see they are at this level, how can I reach there? And they will feel themselves low sometimes. So in that place, we need to introduce the mentors. Mentors are the perfect process where they can help individually. And they can give the motivation to those people that they can also be at that position. They can be also the top. And one more thing I find in a Toastmaster session is it happens everywhere, not only in the corporate club, it happens in all the community clubs as well. We tend to highlight some people, those who are really good for the club and they are doing a lot for the club, and keep on repeating. If I say, Abhinav, every session, and you have done that, you have done that, that is true. But these 25% people, they will feel you are giving importance to only these kind of people. So that we need to include even a small thing. If they do, just highlight it for the sake of, bring them into one umbrella. In that way, they will also come, and if any events or anything, force them to take part, take charge in some or other responsibilities in that event. Slowly they will come. And once they got interested, then definitely will get it. And the 5% of people, just in any Toastmaster club, they will have it for just to have a number, so that we can't do anything. And we should not unnecessarily spend our energy for them. Yeah.
Okay, like giving responsibility to people will always motivate them, and always knowing their why they joined in the first place are two things. You want to add something, Joseph, on this?
I think you need to know what your passion is. So unless you're passionate about it, or you're trying to find a passion, I think Toastmasters Club for me is not just about public speaking. Like Hina mentioned, it's getting to meet people. That's where you kind of get new ideas. Even if you just participate by listening to some of the speeches, it can have some profound impact on your life. The way you think, the ideas in your brain might change, your concepts might be changed. You might be thinking, oh my goodness, I never thought of it that way. There was a simple speech. Some of those speeches just stick with you forever. There is one person, I forgot the speaker, unfortunately, but he was just talking a simple speech about how we get water in Bangalore. The way that, it's not an easy task. It's not how they get it from one particular place, how it comes to your pipes. And then he ends a speech saying that this is why we need to save water. It's a lot of effort has gone in. For a lot of people are doing a lot of things to get this water, clean water to your pipes, and you should not waste it. It had a really important, and that sticks with your mind. Whenever I open a tap, I kind of have that in the back of my mind. So you have the ability, each person has the ability to kind of inspire another person. Even if you inspire one person in this world, I think you make a huge, tremendous. What if you inspire the next Einstein, or you inspire, maybe that is how these people have become this way. Maybe it is you, or you might be that next Einstein which is being inspired by somebody else. This is a beautiful forum, a beautiful community. I have actually, if most of the people know, I have not been in this club for many, many years. I had changed roles and I couldn't come, but I just really wanted to come back. And that's why I came back with a vengeance now. And I want to make sure that whatever I have at work, everyone has. I have 2 kids, I have a dog, I have family, I have extended family, I have a lot of work, I have a lot of initiatives, all that is there. But it is important that you take a little bit of time for yourself. This is my slice of heaven, where whenever I can get this time, I will come here. I will, even if I don't have the time to maybe do a speech, which I will start doing soon enough. You should take this time for yourself. It's your own small slice of heaven where you can listen to something, you can contribute. Let your ideas be out in this world, out in the universe. Who knows where it's going to impact? So please, my humble request to all of you on the call, just consider coming to the club meetings a couple of times. It's not that we want you to join. You have to be really passionate. I don't want people who join for the sake of it. You should be passionate. You want to make a change in your life. You want to be a better speaker. You want to be a better leader. If that is in your cup of tea, or you want to meet more people or listen to some really great stories. Many of the stories are very personal stories, and I really love it when people give their personal stories which have such an impact on their lives. They have an impact on our lives as well. So please join, at least for the meetings. And if it is your cup of tea, please buy that cup of tea as well. Okay. So that's all that I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. One last question to everybody. Again, like a table topic. We'll take 1 minute to answer that. If you go back and look at a journey as a leader, what advice would you give to yourself maybe 10 years ago, which you thought will help you? I'll go everybody, like Ananda can speak first.
Yeah. So one thing is actually empowering people that, it was, maybe I learned from a leader that he was not that kind. Maybe that came to as my leadership style. And empowering everyone is a great thing than anything else. So if I would have done that long back, so I would have had a great team very earlier than struggling to make a synergy in the team.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Ananda. Hina, any advice to your younger self?
I think a simple formula, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen more, speak less. That is very important. I learned it after working for some good number of years in my life. But it is important to listen more, because that will allow you to make informed decision rather than jumping the gun directly and trying to react rather than respond. And at the same time, you make the other person feel valued. So that is something what I follow very diligently now. And the second part is worry less about what other people think and more about what you think of yourself. Because you get to decide at the end of the day what is important to you. It doesn't have the same things that are important to others. So be you, don't waste time trying to fit in. Because when you start allowing yourself that you can be you, that's when you shine the brightest.
Superb. All right, Joseph, last words.
Okay. I think something that is a habit which I've rekindled recently is reading books. I think something which I really, I mean, I'm not a good reader. I come from a family of a lot of readers. They go through books the way I go through Netflix series. Okay, so they are voracious readers. I'm not, but I think that's something which is a very beautiful thing, which I really wish I could go back in time. There are a lot of these nice books which I've read recently, which kind of change the way you think about life, about yourself, about about even success. For example, now I'm more into something called minimalism. So it's a concept which I really like. You have less, but you enjoy it more. We have the tendency, the world around us is conspiring to make us buy more, get more, be more. But no matter how big you get in any organization, not size wise, I'm talking about position wise. Okay, so no matter what you become, you can still be discontent. You will never be happy. But even if you are the poor, I actually saw this once while I was in a bakery. It was raining heavily, and I was stuck inside a bakery, and there was a street urchin child with his mother. That kid was, they don't have anything. I mean, you can see that he's the poorest of the poor. He somehow got a empty Coke bottle and he was playing with it with such joy and glee, laughing and enjoying so much that such innocence, such a beautiful scene I've not seen anywhere else. So it's something that doesn't matter how much money is there in your bank account, what position you have, who you are. It doesn't matter. You need to make sure that you are happy with whatever life choices you have made and accept whatever it is. Not everything is in your control. Accept whatever is there and just be happy. So that is something that I was always chasing something for many, many years, but now I don't need to chase. I'm just happy. So be happy with whatever you have. Yep. All right.
Okay, I like to thank everybody on the panel, DTM Ananda, Hina, Joseph, for sharing your experiences, your life journeys, and small tips and tricks which we can all learn from. I hope today everybody got some inspiration or some takeaways. Again, I'd like to thank everybody who present in the audience, as well as online, offline, who could spare time to listen to all of this. I'll just give 2 minutes. Any questions anybody has? Or you want to take your time and then think about it? Okay, one question we have.
You all are happy. So one question I would like to ask, like in Toastmaster, there is no foundation that you have to be at certain age to be a leader. As you know, any age group can become a leader, can be a district director and whatever the thing. So how can a young leader can motivate the people? Suppose if he or she is going to lead a group where there's a person who are more experienced and elder to them. So how he or she can convince or make the people work for them? So what are the tips and tricks would you like to give? Any one of you?
Context is Shailu became area director recently. So he has to now manage 5 clubs. Anybody wants
Okay, so just want to take this up based on my experience. I think it is who asked this question? Shailu asked, right? Yeah. So and this is a common scenario what we see in Toastmasters, because the young blood is too much full of passion. They just want to climb up the stairs without, and as I told, I always joined Toastmasters never with that thought process of crossing my club also. I was very clear. Many people have told me that you have it in you and stuff like that. But I was clear in my charter that I don't want to go beyond my club roles. And only way to do that, Shailu, is that whosoever is senior within your different club area, like you, as Abhinav mentioned, you have to manage might be 5 clubs or so. Please make sure that you learn from the leadership experience of the senior people of the club. Doesn't matter they have the designation of there or not. See, designation is unfortunately a myth. And secondly, it is needed also on the contrary side of the coin, that to have the control of delegation and to keep the check on what is being done and what is not being done. So designation is needed, but a leader lead without title. So if you dilute that stuff in your head that I am XYZ director or XYZ person in the role, and just connect with the other peer member in your club or in your area's club and learn from their experience, then things becomes much easier rather than trying to put your designation first and then getting the things done. So I think that has been my mantra always, that lead without title, and things work very beautifully. There is no second and shortcut for love and respect. So follow that and people will do the work, whatever you want to get done.
Okay. Any question anybody has online? Okay, one question we have from the room.
So sometimes what happens is like we are extremely nice as a manager or a leader, and that comes in the way of getting the task done. So do you have any insights or personal experiences and how you overcame that? Okay.
So we need to set expectations really clearly. So whoever you're working with, I have people who are friends who have worked with me as well. But friendship aside, work is aside. We need to really distinguish that. And we need to mention that, even my manager himself will come when I was managing an event, which I was managing. He would say, hey, can you get me in with my own manager was telling me, can you just get me in through to the next level? And I said, I'm sorry. You have to respect the role that you're playing, and they have to respect it as well. That is something that you set that expectation. So you can be friends. It's not, definitely it is a slight of bad line. I mean, it's a very thin line, friendship and becoming a manager, especially if you've come from the team. They don't actually can consider you as a leader. So that is something that you have to earn their trust. But you need to set things straight. Whether when you need to get strict, you need to get strict. You need to be, I'm not saying that you shout at them or anything, but you need to be assertive. I say that this needs to get done. Okay. You need to do this without shouting, without screaming. I'm not a big fan of those leaders who shout and scream and try to get things done through force. Force will work to some extent, but it is not something that I appreciate. And if people try with me, I will not work at all. I would rather let them fail. So in this time and age, especially in the next generation, no, you cannot criticize the way I've been shouted at many a times in my previous organizations. But then that is not something that I would like to continue for the next generation. So we need to draw that line, whatever it is, and set that expectations clearly.
We have one more question. We'll do the last question for today's, and then we'll try to wrap up.
Yeah, thanks, Joseph, and everyone here. I think it's wonderful. I've been a new manager 2 years now, but I wanted to know from your experience. When I joined a manager, I had one preconceived notion about this is what managers do. But I want to know from you, any shocks which you got, which others here expect that as a manager I'll get to do, but that's not the reality. I would want to know from you.
So I think one thing that many team members keep seeing this, we just attend meetings. Project managers don't have to do much. They just delegate the work. We end up being the punching bag for everybody. This is something which I keep telling my team members also. The customers, if anything goes wrong, we are the ones which has to shield the team. Sometimes the team members will say, why are you making us work on the weekend? Sometimes we need to get that done. It is it's not something I really don't enjoy or I never appreciate. It's as difficult for a manager to ask, at least for me, many managers are okay to ask team members to work on weekends. For me, especially, it is very difficult. I want to treat my team as members and not resources. So it is sometimes very difficult for us to, do that. We are also human beings. We are also vulnerable to mistakes. It's not like managers, they know everything. We are also human beings. So that is something that, people will think, okay, managers, they know everything. If the manager said that, it's not that fact. I also always keep it open for my team members. Like Hina rightly said, if I make a mistake, please tell me. If I'm not right, I will also ask them, see, this is my understanding. Is my understanding correctly? Because in many cases, I am not the expert. They are the experts in their field. So I need to count on them. You need to trust them. till the time you find something is wrong. Sometimes some team members, the nice part of it, sometimes they take advantage of you, which is something which ends up happening at some point in time. But you need to be a bit smart in that way. You need to check with multiple people. But yes, there are, it's not all hunky-dory. There's a lot of stress. You'll get calls in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Sometimes someone will call you and say something is broken. Then you need to call all these people at 3 in the morning. So we've done all that. So it is not an easy life being a manager or a leader. There are times where you will have to take really tough decisions. People will definitely hate you for those decisions as well. They will comment. Everyone has an opinion, but they don't know the reality. And many a times the leaders themselves cannot tell you the full reality, what it is. Maybe they are not giving you a hike because that they are trying to make sure that you're not being laid off. That happens sometimes. That might be decided. We don't know what the decisions are. Of course, we will look at it from our perspective, but leaders have 100 perspectives to look at. So we need to consider that as well. So going up the ladder, this doesn't mean that, you can push your work to everybody else. Even pushing your work to somebody else is a risk that you take upon yourself. Finally, what happens is you will get blamed. Okay, if something goes wrong because you have a delegate, so you need to take that courage. You need to have that resilience.
I just want to add to what Joseph has mentioned, that you said you have just being a manager and it's been 2 years and you wanted to know what kind of experiences. So honestly, none of us here, how many years of experience we have, cannot really say what kind of experiences will come through, because it's each to its own with the kind of work you are handling and the kind of people you are handling. It's all about, see, the processes change, the technology change. What remains with you is the people. Who will remember you are the people. The process will not remember you. The technology will not remember you. So make sure that as a manager, especially the manager level is the sandwich layer who have to get the bricks and bats from the executive leadership also, plus their team also. So it's not a very nice position to be in, but it's your stepping stone towards the next ladder of corporate journey in terms of where you want to reach. So don't chase the designation. Make sure, as I mentioned, take the people with you, because they will remember you as a leader. So remove the word manager from your mind, and the day you will change that mindset, you will be able to handle all the situations. I always say that, I never say that I have a problem in my life. I always say that I have a situation for which I have to find a solution. This is the 2S formula, what I work on. So the day you will start thinking that way and change your mindset that, no, I'm not a manager, I'm a leader. Doesn't matter this person is with me in my hierarchy reporting to me or not, but I need to set an example for him and her. Then you will be able to handle any situation effectively. And another thing, as you move up the ladder, it gets very lonely, because as Joseph mentioned, you cannot share transparently things neither with your peer managers, nor with your team, and nor with your bosses. So you need to start having that self-conversation. One good way to do it is write it down so that it gets poured on the paper and your mind is clear with immense clarity. Second is, have a lot of emotional intelligence, compassion for the people, and understanding from where they are coming. We are all coming from different cultural background, different value system is imbibed in us. So if you understand that from people perspective, you can get any work done, doesn't matter what process or technology it is. So start being a leader instead of manager, and you will see the difference in yourself.
Thank you. All right, so in interest of time, I could have said one more two quotes myself as well, but today I learned how to be empathetic to our manager as well, because they are leading a team eventually, and they had to balance a lot of things to be successful for you and your team as well. But that being said, I'd like to thank again Toastmaster Joseph, Hina, and Eden Ananda for spending time and all the audience for their questions. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Devi.
I think very enriching session, and I'm assuming, like me, most of you were able to go back to the old days when either you were the manager or you had an experience with your manager and how that was handled, bitter or nice. So that was the case with me, of course. So moving on, we will talk about next session. So that is the fun part of the session today. But prior to that, I would like to thank the panelists for a very enriching session, an insightful one, and also our Toastmaster Abhinav for curating it. Thank you so much. So the final and next session is a table topic session, okay? And in common language, we also call it extempo. So you will be provided on the spot topic. Okay. So you will be provided on the spot topic where you have to speak. So I will introduce you to the club Toastmaster who's just stepping out. So this will be hosted by Club's Toastmaster, who is a software developer for Oracle retail application and has been in IT for 4+ years. So Dinesh, you're ready? So please welcome Toastmaster Dinesh to run the show.
Yeah, I would be needing this. Okay, what a lineup we had. And if it hasn't been already said, I'll say it again. Starting with an educational session so informative by Dr. Ashoo Khosla, followed by a live panel discussion moderated by our very own Toastmaster Abhinav. It was just wow. But pardon me for being a little materialistic. I know all of you have gained something or the other from these sessions, but you can't question me on the fact that these gains were not tangible, right? So today for the tangible gains, I, Toastmaster Dinesh, have come up with the table topic section. Now, what is the tangible growth? Let me get out camera. So the tangible gains is in form of chocolates. Okay, now it won't be given to everybody. It would be only given to the participants. Just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Okay, so to the Toastmasters in the mix, table topics is not a new thing. We always do it weekly or week-on-week basis. It is a fun part, no doubt in that. But for the benefit of the guests, let me tell you what table topics is. Well, table topics is fire. No, I don't be scared. I don't mean it literally. Fire is rather an acronym. So fire is fun, inclusive, rapid, extempore. Confused? Okay, let me explain. So starting with fun, okay, let's wait till the end of the session and you guys would be the judge of the fact that if it was fun or not. The second one is inclusive. Well, table topics is open to all. You not being a member of Toastmasters, it's not a hindrance to you being a part of this competition. So it is open to all. Everybody is allowed. Just you have to be interested enough. You have to get over your fear, that nervousness of speaking. Now then it is rapid. Okay, rapid because there is a time limit to it. It is just 2 minutes. So 2 minutes might seem a lot of time to a person who is anxious. I know that I have been there, but trust me, 2 minutes would go just like this. Say anything and everything you want. So that way it's easy. And the last part, extempo. Well, those table topics is an extempo where a table topics masters, which today has been taken up by me. Okay, nobody clapped. Anyway, no kidding. So would have few topics in hand, and the participation is purely voluntary. So don't worry, I won't be pointing out the backbenchers and calling them up. So it's purely voluntary. You just have to come up here, or the online folks also, you can raise your hands and you'll just have to speak for 2 minutes. Now, how do you know the time? So today we have timer in our mix, which is taken up by Toastmaster Ravindra. Near the completion of the 2 minutes mark at 1 minute 30 seconds, just to give you an idea that, okay, your time is up now, it's going to be up now. the timer would raise a red flag, and for the online audience, the background would be changed. So the timer would be spotlighted, no worries there. So you just have to wrap it up. Okay, enough said. I think everything is clear how this session is. Now, let me start with the sharing of my screen. No, I haven't yet shared. Just a moment. I got disconnected from Zoom.
In progress.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let's start the table topics. Now, there has been an age-old saying that, the table topics master might be biased. Once the participant comes, they would give a tough topic to them. So in order, I know that. I have been there where I blamed the table topics master rather than myself. But in order to eliminate that, what I have done today, it's not in my hands. It's in the hands of you guys, whoever comes up. So you'll have to choose a number, 1 to 5, and your topic would be behind these tiles. So to start with, volunteers now. Just remember the tangible gains, okay? Devi. Okay, you have to now choose a number. You can click on it itself.
I'll go for, there's no 7. I'll go for 3.
Okay, so just be careful. I have been roaming around quite a bit. Okay, so what do you see, Devi? What is this? Okay, so yeah, this is a girl who has a diamond in her hand, but there is a sense of pride in her eyes. I don't know how she got the diamond. Maybe she worked really hard for it, but she's extremely proud of it. Exactly. She's extremely proud of it. So now your topic is, don't worry, it is there. Yeah.
Motivation.
Yeah, it is a motivation. I should then open it up, right? Okay. Now everybody, I don't know if the online audience can see it, but at least the offline audience trust me now. Okay, so the topic for you is share with the group something that you always had an eye on, and finally you got it. Now expand on that how it made you feel, and what that thing was, thing or goal, anything it could. Do you get the topic, or do I need to repeat it?
I've spoken already about it, so.
Oh, anyway, we have a larger audience today. So here goes the mic. Toastmaster Devi.
Thank you. So I think I can talk about passport. So for many years, I did not have a passport with me. For us, for a middle class, it was just one identity proof to have, good to have. So since I had other voter ID, then public sector bank passbook, so it was okay. Once I got married, my husband has a surprise for me that he wanted to take me to Mauritius. But since it was a surprise, he did not tell me that why it was for. So I thought that is also one. So he said, do you have a passport? So I said, no. Then he said, please work on it, because that is something we must have. We might travel often. So we go to, so I'm from Bilaspur, as most of the Toastmaster members know. We had to go to Raipur. While leaving, I went with my brother. He said that, my dad said, please have all the documents which can be considered as an ID proof. I said, no, I have 2. That is enough. And we reached there. And those days it was a little difficult and all. Once we reached there, he said that your name is N. Tirumala Devi in the SBI. Your name is NT Devi somewhere else, and so on and so forth. He said rejected. So So I did not get the passport. I told my husband and he was extremely angry. So instead of Mauritius, it was Andamans. Okay, so passport came much later and eventually we went to Singapore. But when I think of it and when I see it, though there are a number of pages being used as less, but I think it's small act of pride that I have a passport now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You get to pick. You get to pick. There are two options. I have been very considerate, considering nut allergy. Yeah. So big round of applause for Toastmaster Devi, who taught us that it's not just the diamonds, that would make us proud. It's just even a small book, a passport. For me, it was driving license. That would make us so proud. Okay, now let me hear again. Okay, let's have some guests in the mix now. Anyone from the online or offline guests? Do you want to give it a try? As I said, it's inclusive. We promote guest interaction here. Anyone raising hand? Online guests, you can raise your hand so that our moderator can. It is simple. See, as simple as a small book of passport. It is very simple. Don't worry. This was the toughest one. Trust me. See, I didn't have a choose. I didn't have a choice. You only chose it. Okay. Okay. Anyone from online? Okay. Anyone? Okay, Abhiksha. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhiksha. Okay, you get to choose one of the tiles again.
So I have been always roll number 1 from standard 1 to standard 10. So I'll choose 1. Let's see if luck supports me. Oh my God.
What do you see? What do you see?
Oh, he's just very eager to eat all the French fries in one go.
Okay. So, Toastmaster Abhiksha, the topic for you is share with the group a food item that whenever you have it, it transcends you to heaven. And just like this man in this pic, even though you're having it, your mouth says enough, but your dil says dil mange more. Got it? Okay.
Thank you for that topic. Yeah, so somebody was talking about bakery. Yes, Joseph was talking about bakery. So that scene was very different, but I have a younger bakery near my house. And whenever in the evening, I start to take a stroll, from far away, the bakery smell. It's just irresistible. Such a sweet smell it has. It'll just draw you. Just let's go and eat something. Even if I have been told not to take much sugar for my acne, but I just don't stop myself. That's my guilty pleasure, and I go there. And my favorite thing, which transcends me to a different world, is banana cakes of Iyengar Bakery specifically. So yeah, it's so soft, and the aroma when I chew it, it just melts in my mouth. And yes, that's one item which transcends me to a different world, and which probably I'll never stop eating unless I get diabetes. God forbid I don't get diabetes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you get to choose now. Just remember, one chocolate, no banana cake for the entire week, okay? But I can totally relate to you. From where I come, banana cake was there. It wasn't that popular, as popular it is in Bangalore. I remember once I had dinner, I had only banana cake. I had like 5 banana cakes and that was my dinner. I got a sugar rush that day. Okay, so next table topic. Again, as I said before, we encourage guests. Anyone? Our guests? Offline guests, you can try. These are easy topics. Wow. Hi. May I know your name?
Sherry.
Sherry. Sherry. Okay, Sherry. So choose a number now. No, yeah, this is the one. Okay. So who does this person look like? Just yeah. So this is the Nobel Prize. Now don't worry, I'm not gonna ask you some technical question who won the Nobel Prize and anything like that. I'll ask you a rather simple one, and you have to agree this is simple. So you got the Nobel Prize today, but nobody in the group knows what category it is for. So you have the authority to tell us in which category you won the Nobel Prize. Now, just one disclaimer here. It doesn't have to be an actual category of the Nobel Awards. Any category, for me, it would be eating. That would be my Nobel Prize. So are you clear on the topic? Okay. Sherry. Stop.
I think for me, the Nobel Prize will be for trekking. I love trekking. It's like last year I went for a trek, Brahmatal trek, and in that trek it was a very tough year for me. COVID happened, and my nana was in ICU and all. So when I went to the trek, it was a different feeling. You were away from the screen, and when you saw that sunset, usually we see, right, the sunset is like so beautiful, but first time I saw, the sunset was less beautiful and the mountains were even more, because it was, the mountains were golden and the mountains changes, like it was a full moon in the night, so it was like a tube light. And the sunrise was also like, I think that was the first time I experienced trek that level. It was a 5 days trek. So if the Nobel Prize will be given, it's for that. Yeah.
Sherry, one member from our Toastmaster family is missing. Ye chocolate, sorry. Yeah, so the ex-associate VPPR, she and you would have made awesome friends because Namrata Bhagat, by the way, she also is a master trekker. Okay, so do we have time for any more or? Okay. Okay, I think I'll blame it on Abhinav if somebody doesn't gets the chocolate. No, just kidding. It was a wonderful session. Now you guys be the judge. Was it fun? Was it not? Was it hard? Please don't say it was hard. It was hard,
It was a
seriously.
fun.
Interesting. Girish, are
Yeah, it
you
was a fun. Yeah, it was a fun.
okay?
It is not hard. Yeah.
Do you want to
Yes,
take up?
it was fun, absolutely, and it was encouraging and motivating as well for the people, to come and speak and share their experience. So it was definitely fun and really happy to be part of this. So this is my first time though, but I really enjoyed it. So I'll try to continue, participating in the Toastmaster and try even I come forward also and to speak, to get a chance to speak as well. Thank you so much, Dinesh.
Definitely. So we have table topics every week. So it's not just in interest of this open house. We have it every week. So guys who are not a part of Toastmasters, you can join as guests. You can see how it works and even take part in the the table topics. With that being said, I think I'll take your leave and I'll call up on stage our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Devi.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. I won chocolate, so I will be a little biased to you next time. When we had a panel discussion, Abhinav, I forgot to mention one thing. In Oracle Learning, we have one training where you can do a test or a questionnaire, and it will tell you the persona of the leadership style that you have. And then you can work upon it. I forgot to add it last time. I think talking about Oracle Trailblazers Club, I'm the newest edition and the testament to the essence of the club that it holds. In my recent times, and I'm old enough to say this, I haven't met any kind of a group which is as positive as this. And no matter at what stage of our careers or lives we are, we would need this. We would need group or bunch of people who are happy when you do well and who motivate you or tell you the areas which you need to improve. And public speaking is something which is interesting because thoughts are always moving in our mind and there is so much we want to share, but we lack words. And sometimes in my case, I have the stage fear. And see where I am, I think roughly 1.5 months into the club, and everybody has given me this opportunity, especially Shailu, to take this up. So I also have the problem of taking up things. Okay, so I will request you to come forward and conclude the session. I hope you enjoyed it. Do come again and participate as a guest itself. If you like it, you please join us. If you do not like it, that's absolutely fine, because this is something also requires little time and you need to spend it and responsibly, right? So over to you, Toastmaster Shailu and President, to conclude the session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Devi. Can we have a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Devi? What a wonderful execution of today's meeting. And I would like to thank all the role takers, Toastmaster Dinesh for being the wonderful table topic master, our timer, Toastmaster Ravindra, and our panel moderator, Toastmaster Abhinav. And special thanks to our speaker, Dr. Ashoo Khosla ma'am, and all the panelists, Toastmaster Hina Shaisani and distinguished Toastmaster Anand, and Toastmaster Joseph as well for gracing the stage. So thank you so much, everyone. Now, as we have come to end of our meeting, so similar way, we have come to end of our session and our term as well, Toastmasters term, which is of January 2024 to June 2024. And as Toastmaster Abhinav mentioned, can anyone remember what is the tagline of Toastmasters? Where leaders are made. And in Toastmasters, the leadership changes very fast. And at a club level, it changes at every 6 months. So now it's time to pass the baton to the another set of leaders who lead the Trailblazers Toastmasters Club from the front. So I would now like to take the opportunity to introduce you to another set of leaders who are going to be leading the club from July 1st, 2024 to December 2024. Let me call on stage our newest Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ravindra. Now it's time to call on stage our Secretary, Toastmaster Sai Akash. He's not here with us. He has some other meeting. Now it's time to call our Finance Minister, our Treasurer of Trailblazers Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Joseph. Now it's time to call our new Vice President of Public Relations, Toastmaster Abhipsha. Now, our new Vice President of Membership, Toastmaster Devi. And now it's time to call our Vice President of Education, whom we call the Prime Minister of a club, Toastmaster Barnali Roy. She is not here with us today. Now it's time to call the President of Club. Please join me welcome the one and only Toastmaster Dinesh. I wish all the very best to the new officers, and I hope you will take our club to the newer heights and you will blaze the trail as always. With this, I would like to hand over the my responsibility to Toastmaster Dinesh. Yeah, we'll have a formal installation ceremony as well. As of now, thank you so much for taking up the role. So I look forward for your commitment throughout the term. Thank you so much. You can take your seats now. Thank you. With this, I would like to hear from the audience. Anyone would like to give any feedback if you want, positive, negative, anything, any suggestion, any feedback? Offline audience, anyone? Guest?
It was a wonderful session. So, all the topics, whatever has been discussed in the panel discussion, even from the starting, from the creativity, so everything was what do you call? It is a little bit of catalyst kind of what do you call experience for me. So definitely I will look forward to attend next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Girish, for your wonderful feedback. And as a Trailblazers Toastmaster Club, we always welcome you to attend n number of meetings as a guest. Thank you so much for coming. Anyone else would like to take the opportunity? Yeah, please.
New ideas, new way of
Thank you so much. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters. Like every meeting you attend, you will learn new things. And this is the motto of Toastmasters as well. And you get it today. So it really means a lot. Thank you so much for coming today. Anyone else? Last feedback.
This is Vittal. Okay.
Hi, Vittal.
Yeah. I thought of attending personally, but due to some reasons I could not come. But it is wonderful, session with the objective, and people also there, and all officers and members also very eagerly they be part of this program. And one suggestion is just check for the timing so that if we have any clashing meetings, we might be missing a good opportunity to participate. That is one suggestion. But overall it is very good, excellent. I know Joseph very well, so he will drive it very nicely also. I have seen all these sessions earlier also. I used to participate. Now there was a break. It's excellent program. Keep up the good work. We'll be participating regularly.
Thank you so much, Vittal. And we'll definitely consider your suggestions. Thank you. And for the benefit of guests, I would like to tell you that in our general Toastmaster session, we'll have a proper speech slot where a person will give a speech of 5 to 7 minutes. And then we have a table topic session. And at the end, we have an evaluation session as well, where the speakers will get evaluated on what they speak. And especially whenever you join Toastmasters Club, you will be assigned one mentor who will be acting as a guiding light for you throughout your Toastmasters journey. He or she will help you to navigate all the aspects of Toastmaster and help you in taking off your leadership as well as communication skills of what you want. As mentioned by many leaders here in the panelists as well, like Toastmasters is not only about public speaking. It's about leadership, it's about networking, and more and more, it's about learning new avenues day by day. So thank you everyone for joining. We are Oracle Trailblazers Toastmasters Club. We meet every Thursday, 3 to 4:30 online as well as offline. For more details, please join our Slack channel. If you search Toastmasters, Trailblazers Toastmaster, you will get the channel. Please join it for more updates. Thank you so much. Before closing, I would like everyone to please turn on a video, and on all the offline participants to please join me for a group photograph for the memory. I request Toastmaster Kaushal, if you can please take a screenshot.
Sure.
If online participant, if you can please turn on a video for a group memory for us.